Hello and welcome. This is Theresa. Thanks for visiting my channel this evening if you're here with me live tonight on this Thursday, May 15th at 6:45 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Idaho. And I'm going to do some messy papers and smash it, crazy junk journal science. This is...
Hello and welcome. This is Theresa. Thanks for...
Let me turn the volume off.
This evening if you're here with me live tonight.
There we go. I should have realized it was on when I heard the ding from the email. This video was inspired by the Messy Papers for Collage video done by Laura Mixed Media and Louisa Heinzel with her Smash It and Make Layered Flowers video that came out today. So I've got a combination of the two. And I've recently purchased some new products. I'm trying some Dina Wakley acrylic paints. I didn't realize Dina Wakley, am I saying her name right? I think so, was manufactured by Ranger, so that was cool. I didn't know that. And so I purchased a small selection of these. They're really not all that expensive. I bought them off of Joggles, and I think I paid almost $3, maybe $2.82 each. And then I got some Payne's Gray off of Amazon. And I'm using this one. And I also bought some gloss spray, turquoise and a low. The low and the sage are real similar. I wish I would have gotten a pink. Also got some more distressed ink pads. These are regular distressed ink. They're not oxides. I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to pull this. So I've got spun sugar, shaded lilac, and evergreen bough. And there's one more that I've already put away somewhere. So beside me here is not a cup of coffee. This is a new water container that I purchased, which so far it's kind of cool. I like that it's got some, I want to say ribbed, but there's some bristles or something in the bottom of this on the silicone base, and that's good for cleaning the paintbrush. And this, what would that be called? This cylinder, I can't think of the word I want, is plain water, and then this is where I put my dirty paintbrush. So this water right here, there is none actually, I guess you gotta pour it in there. Okay, now there's water in there, and it's clear water because it's separate. Now this is kind of scary for me because if I were to accidentally lift up on this, the water would go all over the place. So I have to be careful because I don't know how sturdy this is, how tight that is in there. And then there's some paint receptacles here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that could be 5 right there. Okay, so here's what I've done so far. This paper is packing paper from the Joggles shipment that I got, the box. And I want to talk more about these two. Oh, and to prep for these, I used my gesso, and it's been drying for a few days because I've been busy with work. Hi, Angela, welcome. And they were all dry. The gesso was all dry. And then today I started to create. So I'm going to show you now what I did to make this. And it's just one of those trust the process. We're still in the trust the process mode. Making painty papers. Again, just packing paper covered with gesso. To cover it with gesso, I used my acrylic brush here. That's what I like to use for the gesso. And then for the painty part today, I used this new Dino Wakely Media 1.75 brush that I saw and I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. Now this time, because I want to get some pink in here, I'm going to lay some pink down with this stamp pad. And I'm going to do that first because I don't want to contaminate the stamp pad anywhere. So I'm just going to do some ink to paper, the ink to paper technique. Okay, that's that. Hello, Stacy. So Stacy says, hi, I'm new to watching your channel. I am living in the UK, Scotland. It just went up to 10 to 2 a.m. so I may drift to sleep. If I do, I will watch in the morning. Wow, Stacy, welcome and thank you. So there's Stacy's comment, so you can read through it. And yes, Angela, that is very nice. Okay, let's see. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down, and this gets messy when I open this. So I'm going to try and be careful and not get any on me. You should see the front of my shirt though. From one of the things I did with the Smash It, I have gesso on the front of my shirt. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I filled up my water bottle with my distress sprayer, whatever that word is, full of water. Oh, I forgot to do one other thing. I jumped the gun. Okay, I think I can still do it. I'm going to take my distress crayons and I'm going to try and scribble around my Payne's Gray. Yes, it did happen today. My, oh my, it did. Just taking some random colors. Actually, I don't want that color. I'm afraid that'll be too close to the color I just laid down. Just scribbling. Now I'm going to get two bangs for my buck here because I already have the paint down, but I'm going to go ahead and spray this and get those colors to move. And I actually like to take my finger to move the distress crayon. That's just my preference. So let's rinse off this brush. And let's do, I mean, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 choices here, and it's still too many for me. Too many choices. It's all so fun. Yes, Stacy. Like I said, this, you got to trust the process, because I can take something that is somewhat weird, ugly, messy, crazy, like this, and start to turn it into something beautiful like this. Now, this started to be more beautiful because I used a stencil over the top, a couple stencils with circles and X's, and then this one has words. So this is starting to come together like that. Then the other thing that you have to think of when you watch my videos is that I am very eclectic, and I really enjoy grunge tailored with vintage. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to see vintage book pages with my grunge. This is some Tim Holtz fabric that is grungy like. This is just a work in progress. Here's some Italian book page straight from Italy. So then we have some gesso here, and this is some fabric that has been grunged up with some paint and stuff. So it starts off, I was just looking to see if I put my elbow in that. Starts off pretty messy, and then it can become, let's see, I don't think that's a good example. Let me find a better example. It can become a beautiful swan. It's addictive, Stacy, it really is. But this one definitely became a beautiful swan, in my opinion. Whoops. This is more of something that I like. I'm not real crazy. I'm not a big pink person. But yeah, those are just pieces that I'm playing with. Let's see, maybe a couple more. This one has that grungy background, and then it has some stenciling, and it has some clusters. This is more, it's kind of a master board, and just has a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things going on. Sewing, handwriting with a gel pen, I think, scraping it, just roughing it up and distressing it. trying to go crazy. Oops, I didn't pick that up after I dropped it. Now that mineral's cool. It's like a light blue. I like that. Now I had to get this one right here because it's medieval. I had to get that just because of the title of the paint. Had to do it. So I think it's like a gray. Looks like a gray. Yep, it's a gray. And then it's fun to paint, you know, off the gesso directly onto the paper. And it's cool how that type of technique that it creates. And I'll call that good. And let's just give that a little dry. Thanks, Angela. Okay, I really liked what I saw happening right here. I was holding the heat gun on and I saw it kind of spread like alcohol ink does. And it got this really cool effect, which I usually see with alcohol ink. I don't know if you can see that blue. And I don't know what the word is to describe that. If you guys know, I'd love to hear it. So my concept with junk journaling is that everything is pretty much a happy accident. So if I get a blob here, or you know, like right here, there's this little like crumbs from the distress crayon, and I think that's great. I want it to stay there. I don't want it to brush off, so I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna push it down because I want it to stay there. And yeah, it's, oh, and the other thing I noticed is the gesso is having like a resistance effect. Hello, glitter. I was hesitating for a minute because I was trying to remember if I knew your real name. Killing me. I gotta look real quick. Nope, I don't have you in my book. That's weird. We talk all the time. But anyways, yeah, the gesso kind of like, I can see like squares and not triangles, but lines and stuff from where the gesso is resisting. That's very cool. And I've done that before purposely, you know, tried that before. Like last week, I just knocked a bunch of stuff down. But I did these papers last week. Hi, Michelle. And this, I put coffee, instant coffee down first, you know, liquefy instant coffee. Let's see, coffee first, then gesso, and then I stenciled with like modeling paste, and then I put more coffee down. And then on this one, and I might have this backwards, I did coffee, texture paste, stenciling, and coffee. Something like that. It's been like a week, and I have a 5-second memory. But that was to practice and to experiment with looking at resist tendencies for different medias. Okay, so let's grab another paper. And I'm just gonna grab a handful of distress crayons, and I'm gonna scribble. I've seen some people, I'm done with the purple. I've seen some people, like I'm right-handed. Whoa, why is that coming out like that? Use their left hand when they're, so that they scribble more. It's easy for me to scribble with my trimmers. All I have to do is hold still and it'll go all over the place. Thanks for visiting with us for a bit, Angela. Have a good evening. Goodbye. So now we're going to take the water. And like I said, I like to use my finger to do this. This part. And this time, let's give this a little dry before we take out the other mediums. Oh, I just love that, how it's spreading like that. I think that's really cool. You are quite welcome for that, Stacy. Thanks for your compliment. All right, let's see. This time I want to spray. Whoops, I feel like yes I did. I loosened the lid. Okay. And then a little bit of this. Forgot to shake the other one. I'm brand new at using these. I gotta say, I'm pretty much digging them. Okay, let's do some of this mineral. Oh, another thing that I might do is to put the paint here and a little of this. I do have brushes. In fact, I think just one moment. Nope. Oh wait, that one thing I showed you, this was done with brush-os and a bunch of other stuff. So like you can see the brush-o a lot right there. But then I also sprayed Distress Spritz sprays on it. So that got it shiny. But like this more matte area, that's just straight brush-o. But good question, thank you. I think I'll put a little medieval here. So yeah, the video that I watched, she used what's called scribble sticks, and you can buy them off of Joggles and other places. But I have distress crayons, so I'm just using what I've got. And I really do like distress crayons a lot. I'm going to pull out some of the water in this time. Last time I let all the water. I like that mineral. That's really pretty. Oh, how exciting, Stacy. That is super exciting. I just couldn't contain myself waiting for this delivery. I love this brush. I'm just saying that right now. I'm going to start to combine those colors together. Who knows what I'm going to do and how I'm doing it? I don't. And then what happens, because I always have to get my fingers into things, I take my finger and I rub the rest of this on. Love to get my fingerprints on it. And a little cleanup on aisle 3, please. That's what I always think of when I do this. Give it another spray to get some of those colors to move around. I wish you could see the front of my shirt. Oh my gosh, I will show you what I did to get myself all messy today in just a minute. Now another thing I like to do is take my paper towel and smush. And it's not showing up on this one, which is cool. That's fine. I like to do, oh, there it did. It showed up a little bit right there. But it just puts, there it's starting to show up now. It puts some texture on. I love it. I just love it. Wow. I feel like that really made a difference. That is so cool. Why don't you just keep patting yourself on the back, Theresa? Yep, I agree, Stacy. I'm glad you haven't fallen asleep yet, Stacy. You've been great to talk to. Okay, so this time let's use our sprays. Okay. I do like this color a lot. And then I'm gonna get some movement. Put my finger in it, my thumb, make a mess. Let's get the heat gun to help us. Because this packing paper is very thin paper. So I'm going to have fun exploring how it works as a substrate as I continue on with using this paper. Now, I'm not going to dry it all the way because I want to take a stencil. See if I have a stencil out. I have that word stencil. Whoa, throwing things around. I'm going to take this stencil and I'm going to try this. Trying to keep my paper towel dry. I have no idea what this is going to do. I have an idea. I lied. I have a theory. I just don't know if it's going to work. And it did not really work. Okay, so let's put it back down. And let's, because I only have 2 colors of the sprays, I'm gonna take an oxide. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use rusty hinge. I always forget if you're supposed to shake well. Yes. This isn't an oxide. So I always forget if you're supposed to spray these or shake these or not. So I'm going to try this. Okay. And try lifting this up. That's kind of cool. Okay, let me move this to the side. Trying not to get it to run. That time I don't want it to run. Oh yeah! Stop, Theresa, stop. Okay, now we're going to take this piece here and we're going to turn this over and do this. See what that does. I've seen other people do this, and of course their stuff looks beautiful. When I go to do it, it totally messes up. It's like you got to have the touch. That's kind of cool. Put that over here to dry. And we have a mess. I always tell myself that when I'm using my stencils, I should have a bowl of water here, soapy hot water, to put the stencils into right away for easy cleanup. But easier said than done. I am a full-time RVer. That I live in a 39-foot toy hauler, and my craft room and office is in the garage part of the toy hauler. So there's not a lot of space. I mean, it's no different than living in a small house and having a small craft room, really. Oh, I always have to remind myself to be careful with some of these stencils, because you can pull this stuff up, this more detailed stuff up, and I've ruined one of my Tim Holtz stencils by wiping across it too hard. And bending the plastic. Okay, that's fairly tidy. Put this off to the side. This is kind of running a little bit, so I'm going to give it a heat blast. Michelle, are you still here? What time do you think April's live chat is going to start at? Because I wanted to tell Stacy about it. Of course, Stacy, you're probably going to fall asleep here pretty soon if you haven't already. But April is a really cool crafter, and she has been doing a 100-day project, and she's like on day 70 something, and she's been doing a live video every night. So her channel, and Michelle, if you're here, can you put the channel name in the chat? It's oh, my brain is going totally blank. Mama Juju back 49. I'm missing some words. But also, Stacy, if you'd like to chat with folks, I mean, I'm sure you got other places that you chat, but if you'd like to chat more, I have a Facebook group. Ha! Thank you, Dana. I have a Facebook group called hashtag Junk Journaling United, and that's a place you can go to post your creations. I would love to see your bumblebee journal that you were talking about. That would be cool. I'm really kind of liking this, and I can actually see a little tiny bit. I can see it, probably nobody else would be able to, of like a ghost print of what I did at first with the stencil, and I dabbed it with the paper towel. Okay, so I think that's all I want to do tonight. There's a couple more techniques. Oh, no. One more thing. Okay, I haven't done the splat part yet, where I got gesso all over the front of me. Okay, here we have one of our pieces. I'm going to call on my Louisa Heinzel influence, inspiration, and put that in my Tim Holtz splat box. And she had some dandelions, but she suggested that for those of us who don't have any dandelions, and I didn't see any dandelions outside. I'm in a park, maybe they spray pesticide or something to not let that happen. So I'm going to take some gesso, and I'm going to spoon that onto here. If I can pick it up. Spoon some gesso on there. And I'm going to saturate that with water. Lay it down. I gotta look and see if you can see. Yep, you can see this. Good. Then I'm going to take my hammer. I'm going to try and protect myself. Pick that up. And then let's do that with some paint this time. Let's see, how about this mineral? And I wanted to kind of blob it. And then let's put a little, see if I can get a little teeny tiny bit of Payne's Gray in the middle of there. There. The rest of you go back in there. lot of water on there. And lay that down. Grab my trusty hammer, try and protect myself. That one didn't splatter like that one did. A little bit there, I like there. I think the trick is to have enough water. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep that. So that was what I wanted to show you. Just the thought, it's got plenty of room for experimentation and yeah, experimentation, trying different stuff with it. One of which is I don't like the buildup of gesso there. So I want to take this and go like this. Not a lot. I really don't like destroying some of that splatter, but I don't like the thickness either. There's a lot of thickness here, but I think that, there, I dabbed it. I'm going to dab it some here. I'm trying to get it to bubble right now. I do like to watch it bubble, and I'm not even worried about burning the paper, which it's maybe starting to a tiny bit right there, but to me that's even cool. So that has so much potential to do something with that. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that at this point, but I do love the bubbling there. And I do know that these are going to be some fun, messy papers that are going to possibly end up in my new raggedy, what is it? Raggedy Turtle Bloom journal that I'm getting ready to make. And this I did before I turned on the camera. There's my splatter. And this I did before I turned on this camera. And I smushed it down with the paper towel because I didn't like all that buildup of white. I don't even technically like it a lot on Louisa's journals that I saw. My first thought when I looked at it is that looks like bird poop. And because it's about turtles, it kind of looks like turtle poop too, because I think turtle poop is whitish like bird poop. But yeah, and I've had a lot of experience with that lately because the park that we've got our trailer parked in right now, there's a lot of trees, and oh my gosh, there are tons of birds in the trees. And 5 seconds after the truck is washed, a bird dumps on it. So I don't stay outside very much. I don't want to get dumped on. Me and bird poop are not fans, are not kindred spirits. I did get my eyelash trim that I wanted to use for my turtle journal, and my turtle journal is going to be named Elmo. This journal's just going to have a name, and this does not look as wispy as Louisa's does. Hers looks very wispy and flossy and fluffy, and this doesn't look like that. So I think what I may end up doing when I put this on my page edges or whatever is I'll end up doubling it up. Can't even see that because it's white on white. But I'll end up doubling it up so maybe it will look a little bit more wispy. Yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted, but it is what it is. I could not find what I wanted. Looks better when it's all together like that. I wonder if I wash it or something, if I can get it to look more cottony. I've tried pulling on it and that's not working. I don't know. Okay, so thanks for joining me. Thanks for chatting with me. I hope that you were inspired or entertained or something tonight. And if you're going to be in